Moment of
criminal.
madness.
Now, operator bans, they're important, aren't they, Demo?
You have to make sure that whenever you do the bans, you remember what they are.
At the start of the game, 4 operators get banned.
Yeah.
2 from the defense, 2 from the attack.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea for people to write them down, so then if anything does happen, you know what they are. No matter what, you always know what they are.
And it sticks
Yeah.
throughout the entirety of the game, regardless of what else happens. The only constant in a map is the operator ban. Amaru coming through as the first, Nook the second. It's fairly easy to remember so far. We see a lot of Nook bans. Nook on bank, a thing of beauty, a thing that should never be allowed to exist. It's almost too good to be allowed. Amaru, scary. Allows for quick plays, aggression. If I think of bank and I think of defenders, I think of Valkyrie.
Why does it sound as if you're like doing a speech, but somebody's like giving you what to say next constantly?
Have you not got that?
No.
I have it in my ear. I'm just a mouthpiece.
Oh.
What else do you think of when you think of bank?
What's going on? What is this?
Mirror!
The Nature Channel.
Of course, we think of Mirror. Leaves a couple of good uns open.
Azami?
Echo.
Sometimes.
Occasionally. It'd be Maestro this time for a staff room and open area defense. Kicking things off in this mid-floor. Look at that ace picture. Just looks happy to be here, doesn't he?
Happy to be here. Yeah, Bank, here we go. Bank, very flexible map. A lot of different opportunities I think teams can have, both in defense and both in attack. I don't think there's any one set way that you have to play Bank, which is good. I think it makes for a more enjoyable experience, I think, for side to really show how creative they can be. However, they probably went to the site that doesn't have too much creativity. I think you do have to play a certain way to defend this. And generically, what we look at whenever we think about open area is having, a good amount of utility inside of the site, strong anchor positions that you can fall back into, and some really good safe positions. But equally, we generally see a good top floor presence, a good roam game that does happen, because it's all about wasting time, wasting utility, and making sure that the attack don't have a lot to work with in the final minute or so of the round.
Bank can often just be a war of attrition, and that is often how you'll find most sites play here. It is an intricate and intense exchange.
I mean, this is a heavy, heavy hold if we're looking at Unlimited right now, Ollie. That's at least 60% of the map.
I was going to say, it looks like they're trying to hold every inch right now.
Everything but the bottom floor, pretty much. They've even castled off the 2 doorways in lobby. That just stops anyone just crypt walking in, which does happen a lot in Bank. Yes. You will find the odd player who just goes off by themselves, a wanderer, and they'll do some real damage.
Akwi finds his first victim there, takes IWI out of action. That might have been quite a long-range engagement. Gemini sees some success as well. Way off on Repel. Hello, Hypex! If ever there was a Wanderer, that was it.
Can't the walls open and you've walked into it? Oh, that is an issue. And probably an operator that I think Unlimited are missing is probably the Mute, you'd have to say. I think Mute on Bank is probably one of his best maps. It's massive. We talk about how drone work is so important. Mute's your perfect friend for that. And it's good as well whenever teams like to do these extended setups. He's good to help with the shotgun. C4 is always going to come in handy. And just that little extra bit of denial. Dealing with a Mute jammer on Camp the Wall can sometimes, stumble a team. And it means you have to then rotate a player into lobby. And then you have to take lobby from... it adds on to everything. And yeah, Gemini keeps on pushing with the kills. So yeah, that'd probably be the only thing. I think missing the Mute has really let Unlimited down for an extended hold like this.
Yeah, I think missing the Mute and the ambitious nature of the hold that they were attempting, right? They tried to hold absolutely everything here. It still isn't over. There's still a minute, and there's still 2 players that are very low. Army, highest performer on the side of Unlimited last map, has a chance at getting this locked off, especially with Mkers and the way that they do tend to rush things toward the later stage of the round. But the net is tightening. The circle is getting even smaller. Gemini from above. Saw a lot of action that round, Demo.
4 kill.
4 kills on the round. The diffuser going down as well. Maker's not leaving anything to chance here, kicking things off on Bank, which in contrast to Chalet, is probably going to be a little bit attacker favoured.
Yes, good start for Mkers. Straight on the money. I think just the overextension of Unlimited in this. That's the issue with I think the 60%, 65% holds off maps is you spread yourself too thin, and then you start to get hindered by lack of refrags. We've always said that Unlimited are a team that are very good at basics, very good at minimalistic pushes, defenses. That's what they are, and they're very good in that department. I think that push, it wasn't them. Does that make it didn't feel like them.
It didn't feel like them.
You know, it feels as if they're trying to play like Hellraisers last year. Hellraisers were a very creative team who had a deadly roam game, who were straight on the money with these crossfires and being able just to always be a nuisance. The Unlimited aren't that kind of team for me, so I don't know why they're trying to play like that. This is where I say Bank doesn't favour them. I think Mkers, this is their map. You know, this is the map they're going to be very happy with. You know, I think, again, Kangaroo Kenny, I think it showed us a lot about the thought process of Mkers. And I think even Kangaroo Kenny knew that there was a lot of issues with Mkers yesterday that, again, TenStar were able to play off, not because of it was anything that TenStar did miraculously. It was Mkers had a bad shift on Bank yesterday.
And it was still an overtime game. And that does just go to show how good they can be on this map. And when Unlimited are falling for some fairly straightforward tricks, it doesn't bode too well. I mean, Kanto Wall getting opened, that's a given on almost every single round here on Bank. It has been electrified this time. Half of the wall is still soft. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Already the castle barricade into staff room has been opened. Lolo, he's got a line of sight that he can start to work with as well inside a main lobby.
See, look at the positioning right now from Unlimited. Nordwin's by himself. He is the only one in towards Tellers and Archives. What happens if we see Lolo just walk in and win as one? Nobody's going to be there to refrag. This is what I worry about.
Well, it looks as though Mkers are just going to try and walk in. Got Nordwind a little bit off-site there. Lolo threatening on that main door, but we do have players stacked up on copy window as well.
How good was that, though? Akwi being able to use the Dokubi call to just bypass the bulletproof camera, knowing that nobody can use that under the call. I don't think they have an idea that Akwi's here in this position, and this is scary because he's holding the connector between the tellers and also the staircase.
Rory's going to come to blows here with Sorry, the call, giving it all away, and Akwi can now click the go button and make his way into sight. Army and Hypex, they are there to oblige though. Dora finds one, picks the second as well. He's got the kit, don't forget. IWI might be on the alibi, might be on the best operator in the world, but you've got a long old ways to go. Dora going to start to get that plant down. Is there going to be any information available here for IWI? Dora going to make sure that that sticks. IWI knows exactly where the plant's going down. The call's accurate, the shot true. Plenty of time to disable the diffuser.
He swung when he didn't need to swing.
Defenders have disabled
yeah.
the diffuser. Defenders win.
I mean, IWI takes it as it comes. On the alibi.
Best operator in the world.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I feel as though whenever players get clutches of alibi, it just loses any purpose.
It doesn't lose purpose at all. Don't take that away from him.
You know.
That was a quality clutch.
Do on the Tachanka.
You hate Tachanka.
Exactly, that's what would be impressive if you did on it.
You wouldn't be impressed. You'd still pick something wrong with it.
Nothing impressive with it.
You'd still pick a hole in it.
No.
1-1, Unlimited. I tell you what, I'm really glad that they went back there for them, and I'm really glad that they won, because I did not think going back to that site was a good idea.
Yeah, it was...
I thought to myself, get yourself downstairs.
Mkers pulled the trigger.
Yes.
Massively. For no real reason. For no real reason, they pulled the trigger.
Trigger happy.
I mean, it was tendencies that they went into in Chalet where they moved too quick for their own self.
Yeah.
And it cost them.
Well, they just didn't have the outside of the site was theirs. They had beepers, they had main stairs, they had all of this going for them. But they just didn't account for a couple of players knocking around the site.
They were surprised at the bomb site that defenders supposed to defend. There might be actually somebody in that.
It's weird that, innit? It's weird how that happens. Someone on copy window would have done an absolute number.
I mean, they did have somebody in copy window. That's where the ace jumped in from. It was just the fact that the Wamai is hidden behind
Yeah.
a bit of cover inside of open area. And also, the Ace's main purpose is not to kill the Wamai. His purpose is to kill the Maestro
But
inside.
the problem is it was the timing of it all.
Yeah, of course.
If Doro jumps in at the right time and people push double door at the right time together, then it's going to work a little bit better. Alas, there is a big extension here from Dunlimited. We often talk about going down to the basement and bunkering down. That's not going to happen here. They've got a big extension there into open area.
Now, remember we seen this
Oh dear.
last time, where Mkers were very heavy in trying to gain control of Garage, and they didn't have the best of times with it, Ollie.
Well, the Yokai drone is easily spotted.
Bomb located by attackers.
However, Rorik, he's going to be there. He's going to throw the impact. Doesn't destroy the shield. The second one will, and it does a little bit of chip damage onto Sorry. There's another shield in his back pocket that he can try and use here, but he's in a 2 versus 1. Rorik and Hypex looking to try and challenge onto this. Rorik finds Sorry. Gemini, however, has pressed
Where'd
the
he come
button.
from?
He's pushed go, and he's inside a site. Eventually shut down by IWI. A lot going on elsewhere here. Lolo thinks that now is a good time to strike and push himself through the garage. It could be the last thing that Dunlimited expect. They've got no utility left here to give them any heads up that anyone could be pushing through. Nordwin, he's going to get himself taken out by Dora. Nobody there for the refrag as well. IWI, you don't know how lucky you are. That easily could have been a headshot.
Oh!
Goes for the swing. How lucky do you need to get? Look at the Vector tearing through Dora at close range and leaving the diffuser cold on the ground. Lolo, you can hack the cameras all you like. Finds one onto IWI. Excuse me? You've already got away with 1 murder this round. You can't get away with 2.
No one sits still anymore.
We've praised this team for their patience. We've praised
It's
them for
what-
their ability to stand still.
It's like watching 10 of you play.
It really is. Lolo, he's going to tank a load of smoke as he tries to charge through. The diffuser's cold on the ground. Surely
He
Dunlimited
has to
know
go
this.
upstairs. He has to.
The attackers have become the defenders. His army's holding upstairs in open. Lolo, what's he going to go for? Army dips himself back down. 35 seconds. How much info is available here?
There's a yellow ping. I think that they're on the default camera inside of the elevator drop. So they do have info on them. Look, yellow pings are coming out for Mkers. This could be massive. The fact that he's hacked the cameras is so big. The shield, oh, behind the pillar. The single pillar between the walls. Flashbang goes out. But Army secures the kill. There is info on him, Ollie, and he still loses it.
I think if Lolo... Well, Army played that perfectly because he managed to detonate the Vulcan canister. Had he not detonated the Vulcan canister and got a good Toxic Babe canister out there, he would have been in the bin because all he needed was 1 shot onto Lolo there to secure the round. Tense stuff. What a cluster of a round, Demo. What a mess.
We've had a few of them. It's been a messy game.
Whew. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
You can-
as many bombs as they
You can take.
What do you mean? This is high octane stuff.
Yeah.
Upstairs we go. CEO.
Attackers have located a bomb.
IWI. Just chill out a little bit. Take a breath.
I'm taking a breath. Taking a breather.
I'd have loved to have seen someone go in with Sorry into garage there from Mkers as well, by the way. That was a weird
There
play.
was Dodokomi was trying to prone on the police car.
Yeah, but they were miles away.
Yeah, they were. But they were prone on the police. I mean, I'll be honest, that actual garage take again, very quickly done dealt with Unlimited. I think it was genius.
They did a
Using
good job,
the Echo
yeah.
impact grenades,
Yeah.
which you generally don't see. It's usually Echo with a shield, the old garage.
Yeah.
Use the impact grenades and then having not only the Echo push, but also the other man in garage doubling up against that guy. It's always a smart move.
You just got to deal with it as quick as possible. Because it just distracts from everything else, doesn't it? Let's see if Nordwin can get himself onto the board this time. Currently sat on 0 kills, the only person in the lobby to be so. Someone who had a massive shout and massive game yesterday. Hypex, look at all those stun icons coming on in. Akwi, he's going to take full advantage of that, hops himself straight in. IWI takes a good chunk of damage. Army is in position, but he too will fall. This is where Mkers are dangerous. This is where Mkers are at their best. Flooding themselves through stock, cleaning house, and leaving it all up to IWI to do. He can stim himself up. He's going up against 4 a low HP Gemini, but that's about all that there is that's going for him. Gemini ends up finding him inside of the site. Not a great deal you can do about that. A concise push through stock from Mkers, showing that they have that terrifying aggression demo.
Just hit the nitro. Hit the nitro boost and they're straight in. And really weird game of bank. Really strange.
Why have you got your spooky face on?
Because I don't like it.
Why not?
Need to
This isn't
locate
how you're
and
supposed to play
defuse as
bank.
many bombs as
Well, that's okay.
This isn't.
Players are allowed to try something different, demo.
This isn't how-
Just because you doesn't.
This is not how Penta played it in 2018. It's incorrect.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Pengu would never. Yeah, it's a weird one.
What would you prefer? Blackbeard,
of a bomb.
Lion.
Yeah,
You get Lion
yeah,
still.
Get Lion back in.
Jackal.
Look, at the moment, right now for Mkers, this is supposed to be a map that I think is very favoured for them. Very, very favoured. If they play the same way they did against 10 Star, yes, I understand that they lost against 10 Star. I still think the way they played would be enough to beat Unlimited. I really do believe that. But it just looks as if they're really rushing things. It just feels as though that they're relying a lot on winning ones. Which, sure, you're confident enough, you can go for it. But as we know, it's not consistent siege, and consistent siege is not going to win you every. Inconsistent siege is not going to win you every game. It's consistent siege is going to do that for you. Relying on ones, and we know how 1v1s can go. 50-50s, anything can happen. Yeah. You want to give your team the best possible outcome you can have. Would you rather swing a player inside of an elevator and maybe kill him? Or would you rather nade a player inside of an elevator and 100% kill him? I know what I'm taking.
Yep.
Taking the swing.
You'd go
because
for the swing.
I want the kill. I don't want my teammate getting a kill.
You'd go for the nade. The Limited have chosen to go back upstairs. They obviously feel like there's something they can do that's significant here. Namely, Hypex. He's going to be keeping himself alive a little bit longer. IWI, great adaptation there. Just peeks onto that double window, double door, sorry. Takes out Gemini. Lolo from below will see some success, though. Eventually does deal with Hypex inside of stock.
Good pick as well. Wamai no longer being able to deploy the discs. So the utility, there's flashbangs and the smokes. Nothing to worry about. Free real estate for that. Yes, Ami's being used almost as the sub for the deployable shields. Being able to deploy them and block off these angles onto Kanto, as we know, is a very fickle position. It's surprising to see that Gemini is the one who was actually aggressing on the sock, whatever. He's Sabana. He's generally out towards lobby trying to open up the counter wall, and we've mentioned before that Unlimited, they not really bringing the lineup, I think, to appropriately hold in towards Kanto. Where's your mute? Where's your Kaid?
Well, they don't have to worry this time. No one going to be opening up Kanto wall. Dora has got 2 exothermic charges, but they will be destined for elsewhere. Lolo at the top of square, trying to make something happen as the wall will be open. Lolo finds himself one. Dora could look for a little bit of an opportunity outside there, and we'll find it. Rorik getting punished for a little bit of aggression. Now with the breach open, it comes down to Nordwin to turn his focus, along with Army, into that square stairs area. Got some red pings to be working with, but long-range engagement isn't going to be very kind to him at all. Army, first of all. Army, can you land your second? Lolo putting a huge amount of damage in onto Dora. Akwi, he's going to be challenging onto the janitor's door, almost, but it isn't close enough. Doubling up there on the push at the end was the only way that Mkers were going to make that happen.
I think that was great decision making from Thermite especially. Obviously could have went for the plant. I would say that probably Flores would have said I'm not in the best position to cover that. That's a risky one, pushing in for the kill like that, because we know anything can go wrong, but boy, they make it work. It's one of those, but yeah, all credit to them. They make the correct call and they execute that well. So yeah, good work from Mkers. 3-2.
Still a strange round, though.
Of course, it's been a strange. I told you, this is
real strange round.
This isn't what you were used to seeing from Bank. It's supposed to be a lot more slow and methodical, not as high octane as what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
You think this is border the way it's being played out?
I've definitely noticed a bit of a change in Unlimited's play style as well. Like, where's the confidence? There was a bit of confidence floating around on Chalet, and I just feel like a couple of players have gone really quiet here on Bank. Nordwind, huge game yesterday, 0-5. Hypex, 2-5. Not the sort of numbers that we're expecting these guys to be putting up.
They're the two statistically, top killers for that side.
Yeah.
Is Nordwind and it's Hypex, and if they're not showing up,
still, there is an opportunity for a 3-3 split here.
I mean, look at Mkers. It's the supports he's putting in the business.
It's the same over there, isn't it? You know, Dora 6-2, Gemini 9-3, triple positive. Very similar story.
A bomb has been located.
Right.
Now, this was another strange round last time, wasn't it, Demo?
This was a full garage push, but this time it looks as if Mkers are going to go a bit more what I like to see, and that is a lot more default, trying to sweep the map, clearing top down, getting control of open area, pushing out these roamers, and eventually moving your way down and looking for that plant. There's a great deal of utility, of course, for Unlimited. You have plenty of C4s, you have the Echo, smoke, and of course the Goyo canisters, so Mkers, they can't waste a whole lot of time above. They need to move pretty quick, Ollie, if they want to try and get an execute going before all of that utility comes in to bite them. Gemini just keeps going. Do you know how risky it is to see the Habana push in like that? That's your hard breach, and he's doing that. I mean, to be fair, if this is a life game for Gemini, let him go. Let him go.
So far, he's doing a fantastic job here. Rorik does manage to find one back onto Lolo, but damage has been done here. You have got your two last lines of defense, a smoke and an echo.
All those C4's gone, Ollie.
C4 that you brought has disappeared into thin air, and already the Toxic Babe canisters are going out at the halfway point in the round. Far too early.
If you're Mkers, you kill the game dead. You don't give them anything. You don't try and solo push. You don't try and rush. You play nice and simple. You have hatch. You have one guy hold main stairs, and you just wait until Dora eventually gets down the plant. There's not enough utility for Unlimited because they lost so much there of those engagements. Yeah, Mkers are 100% going to get a plant down. 100%. There's no way they lose this. No way. I refuse to believe it.
Aqua just going to be gathering a bit of information there as to Army's whereabouts.
Yeah, there we go.
Great nade coming in there to neutralise him as he goes for the Toxic Babe canister. It is going to allow the plant to go down without a hitch. Second nade comes through, and, well, it's not going to be the nade, but it's going to be Sorry that dishes out the final blow, picking up both of those kills. One with the nade, one with the gun. Mkers advantage here at the halfway point.
Yeah, important round. Good, solid round. That's more like it from Mkers. Not much Unlimited can do against that whenever a team attacks it as perfect as what they've done.
Well, was it a perfect attack, or did Gemini just get lucky inside of open? He just strolls in, picks up 2 kills.
Well, how would you, the whole purpose is, okay, we have to kill these guys. Does it matter how you do it?
It doesn't matter how you do it, but I don't think he could do it consistently. Unlimited dropped the ball there. If you're allowing someone to hop in copy window and pick up 2 kills, I mean, Demo, you know why I know it's a problem? Because when I play Bank, I play Habana, and that's the window I go through.
Okay.
So that's why I know it's a problem. Because I'm rubbish.
Hey, you said it, not me. I don't say, I just think it.
Thing is, where have we been here before? Mkers 4-2 up after the half. Oh, Chalet.
10 seconds to insertion.
I know, but I think Unlimited have looked particularly limp.
They've looked a bit lost on Bank.
In that half, I think it hasn't been too strong for them. Nordwind, horrible half.
Yeah.
Horrible half, and he needs to try and pick it up. Zero makes an appearance. Always fun to see him. Really the only map that we ever see Zero is Bank. Not many other instances where you see him. The reason why you only really see him on Bank is, one, he has a gadget that gives you some good flank protection and also good information on such a big map where we talk about the roam game is so important, how you have to deal with that. Generally, Zero is very good in that regard. And also, whenever you're dealing with Bank, there is a few hatches, particularly 5 hatches, that you like to try and open up, and of course, our breach gadgets can make quick work of that.
Just alleviate some of the pressure onto Hibana. Of course, Hibana has more than enough Exocaris pellets to get the job done, but...
Carrot pellets.
Any rabbits?
Any rabbits?
But it does just make it a little bit easier so 2 people can get at that job. Of course, no thermite. Now you're tacking onto the basement. You would maybe like to bring a thermite to try and open up a couple of the walls down there as well. Rorik already got himself into desk. Has just called for that to be gone 6 open. He's got a red ping to work with, but we can see that the player has since dipped out of there. Mkers slowly but surely making their way back onto that basement level, as they have felt like they've wasted sufficient time here.
Right now for Mkers, try and play the long con of let's use the utility as best as we can. Not wanting to, of course, give away early picks. You know, we've mentioned before about how the utility, there's always a shed load for this basement. It's all about how that Mkers want to deal with it. Unlimited equally. Good chunk of utility also, Ollie. You got some smokes there, you still got a nade that you can utilize. There's certainly opportunities for them.
Unlimited are just going through the motions here at the minute. They're getting the tasks done that they need to do. They're starting to open
got rid
up
of the fire, which
this
is the
long angle. The Vulcan canisters have disappeared as well. Where's the backstab is what I would say at this point.
I do worry for one simple reason. They haven't opened up the blind spot plant, the other wall inside a server. Why? I don't know why. Where are they going to plant now? This is why I worry about it. Where's your safe plant position? You don't have one now because you don't have enough hard breach and you haven't opened up the actual wall you need to open up.
Army going to be playing the hatch from above as we still hear the utility starting to get exchanged. They're actually going to go for a plant on the bomb chassis. Now, where's the cover and does anybody know? IWI going to drop in onto the hatch. The C4 comes through. The diffuser rendered cold on the ground. Nordwin cut out from the action while the rest of his team does damage on site. But Dora is there. 2 versus 2 now. Nordwin and IWI, you've got a lot of kills to find. You need to pick up 2 in a very short period of time. Lolo takes IWI out. Nordwin, you might have the kit, but you're not going to be able to get much done with it. Going to peek onto the player inside of gold, finds one, but all you got to do is keep yourself alive, and alive they will stay. Mkers hold on downstairs.
Yeah, not opening up that wall. No real safe plant position. That's what cost them.
It's a shame as well because the rest of the round looks okay.
You have all your Goyo canisters cleared by a minute. That's really good.
I think there was still one at the bottom of main stairs.
Yeah, but in terms of
it
where
doesn't
you're
matter.
planting, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Timeout here for Unlimited. They need to stop the bleeding and they need to stop it soon.
After one attack also, you're using the timeout?
I mean, they're obviously a little bit rattled, aren't they? We've already commented about how players aren't performing up to standard.
This is a mental check timeout.
It is, it is. It's not. It's less on the gameplay and it's more on like, come on guys, what's wrong? Like, what's the matter? Oh no, what could the matter be?
Right. Where do I begin with that?
You carry it on.
What have you just said?
Don't know. I think it's a nursery rhyme.
Nah. Again, applications, please send them through. Let me know.
You're going to get actual applications, you know.
Good.
I'm going to make an alt account and send you one.
Good.
And then you'll just be left with me again.
No.
Brilliant. It's genius.
Can't believe I've been shackled to you for 2 years now.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And I say shackled, I use that lightly. The term shackled.
Bomb located by attackers.
What, do you not like it, or?
It's up for you to decide, buddy.
I don't know. Oh, we get a pulse.
Look at the lineup from Mkers. Wow, wow, wow. Severe lack of any denial of utility, which is the first issue that I find with the setup of open area. This setup says to me, Ollie, kill, 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 kill.
Confidence. Confidence is key, and Mkers have it at the minute. They're going to favour a little bit of information,
5 seconds remaining.
a lot of information, given that they've brought 2 bulletproofs and a pulse.
I wonder if Mkers know something that we don't, because you're bringing in the Oryx, right? Oryx for Bank is good operator. You know, it's a big roaming map. Oryx is obviously good in that regard of getting around and can make these openings and jump up hatches, more importantly, and that's probably the point I'm going to get to, is do Mkers know where Unlimited like to push from? Are they a team that will sweep in through that mid floor? Are they a team that will try and take in towards Tellers and Archives and then try and attack the triple wall? Are they a team that actually likes to hit blue? If they're a team that like to go in through the mid floor and they like to attack, Oryx jumping up the gold vault could be a spicy play. if they try and go in towards blue. We know that Oryx, again, can then still rotate below very easily up the blue stairs. You know, there's potential now, I think, for the Oryx to hit them where it hurts.
Army going to open up that Kanto wall. It is mute jammed for the time being.
And wait, do you see how tricky it can be for the attackers to actually deal with that? Because the only way that you're getting rid of that mute jammer is you have to put somebody inside of lobby and then to use a nade. Which, as we know, is tricky. That lobby, there is, whenever we say there's 1,000,001 angles you can get shot from, I'm not joking. It is the biggest, is it the biggest room in Siege? It is. It has to be, it's the biggest room in Siege. That says it all.
You heard it here first. It's the biggest room in Siege.
It is.
Hypex has got himself in. The bulletproof camera might actually have a line on him at the minute as well. Lolo is going to be just the other side in the elevator. He's kind of pinned there now for the time being. It just depends on
He has a hatch below. He can
whether
drop down.
Hypex lets him out. Now, Hypex actually prioritizes the bulletproof camera there
He's
with
okay.
the nade.
I think he's okay.
Do you believe that the mute jammer's still up on that top floor, though? Which
should be.
that's the whole reason that
Wait.
Hypex obviously went in there to deal with that.
Yeah, I can still hear like the flickering of
Yeah,
flare.
it's still there.
And he doesn't have the nade, and he's died.
And he's
Because
died.
Guess what? There's angle 960,000.
Not great problem solving, really, from Dunlimited. You've got to ask yourself, how worth it is it to really tunnel vision onto that one problem?
Here's the thing. I mean, I think they're very fortunate the fact that Rourke and also Nordwin has ended up above. But you've spent all that time of, oh, hey, we need to, get rid of this candle. We have to get the mute jammer in. But they've actually said, well, actually, we don't actually need to do that. We've just wasted everything. We look, got egg on our face. What are we doing?
Absolutely. You really got to focus on the important problems and not get sidetracked onto some of these mini games that the defenders often set up for you. And so far, it's costing you. Nothing's come through as a trade. You've lost 2 players. Things are looking pretty dire. Rorik announces himself in tellers. Has an angle onto the site and can maybe look for a couple of rotations here, but Makers, they are dug in. They don't need to move. How many times do we find ourselves saying these same words? Rorik with the swing takes Sorry down. Wasn't expecting that one, that's for sure. Has an idea that somebody's going to be crouched behind the desk, but the kills do start to fly. Gemini keeps his team in it and gives them the edge, but will eventually fall. 2 seconds, Lolo. Keep yourself alive, my friend. All you got to do is pick the right time, and the right time is now. Another round coming down to time, another round coming close, but another round that Makers walk away with.
Yeah, Dunlimited just wasting so much time without really doing anything at all. Losing players too easily for my liking, and Dunlimited just really struggling with Bank, and that's what I expected. Again, we said yesterday Makers against 10-Star, it was, you could tell it was an off day. And we know that 10-Star maybe, they're probably sitting there thinking, God, we were very fortunate that they actually didn't have a good game on Bank. And here we are, sitting on Bank, and you can see Makers, whenever they're up for it, whenever things are working for them, things are going well. Difficult team.
And that's why they're here. That's why they are here with a shot at the finals.
Yep, I mean, Gemini.
Yeah.
My goodness, Ollie. That's...
He's got his
2
team
kills
on,
around.
Got his team in a backpack.
2 kills around. Very impressive.
Got his team in a backpack. Top floor. What could potentially be the last round of Bank tonight. Our third map is going to be Clubhouse.
10 seconds to go.
If, of course, we get to it.
Ultimate decider.
Seconds left.
Who can do the basics right?
Who can crouch walk down main stairs the best?
No. After what Dunlimited did against Wild, I don't think we can say that.
That will always be the defining moment for Dunlimited in Challenge League for me. That first crouch walk from Hypex down those main stairs, and how far they've come since then.
Yeah, done really, really well this season. No matter what happens in this series, I think they should be very proud of themselves. 3rd place against some strong teams, and a team that was never favoured to really go all the way. I thought they were favoured to take over Helios Gaming, but they've proved me wrong.
Still plenty of chance to keep proving people wrong here as well. They do have an opportunity to extend this game a little bit. They need to win 4 rounds and take us to an overtime. But so far, they've not shown us much bite on the attack. And they didn't really have much bite on their defences. Again, struggling with this mute jammer at the top of Kanto wall. There's Not much that they're going to be able to do to try and deal with that. We are seeing Acqui downed in just the top of those main stairs. Hypex's going to start to open things up with the Rotero drone as well. So for the first time in a long time, Demo, the kills are coming in Dunlimited's favour. They've really struggled on that entry, but now they're starting to see some success. Cheeky little jump out and a Claymore for Gemini. Don't forget the Claymore if you're going for the jump out. Is it going to be enough to keep his team in it? Well, with Hypex down, quite possibly. Sorry downed as well, though. So essentially 3 versus 3 here. And don't forget, Gemini's got to make his way back on in, which technically he shouldn't be able to do, given that his location has been given up here. A careless swing from IWI and a good shot from Dore. Picks himself too. This is falling apart here for Dunlimited, where they looked oh so good. Nordwin making his way up these main stairs, flashing out. Gemini has made himself back into the building and can now start to push up these main stairs. He could be a bit of a problem come the later part of this round. There's still a full minute left here, Demo. A lot of time for Dunlimited to try and stabilise, but they have players loose, players unaccounted for.
Still echo cams that you have to deal with. That's always going to be an issue, not just because of the plant denial, but just general information is going to be crucial for Mkers. Any info that you can get at this stage, just to figure out where the 2 remaining players are going to be coming from, it's going to help them out a lot. Both of them will be doubled up alongside one another. Into Janitor goes the swing for Nordwind. Oh, reloads at the wrong time. He's in deep into Janitors. Oh, and there's Dora again. And then Gemini, of course, gets the final kill. What a game he had, Ollie. And Mkers, well, that was a quick bank. They make swift work of their stronghold, we'll say.
7-2. I think that last push from Nordwind really speaks volumes. A really ill-timed swing. Timing really not on their side. Mkers, on the other hand, they could do no wrong. More specifically, Gemini, he could do no wrong on bank. 16-5 was the end score for him. Dora hitting 11 kills as well. Again, that supporting duo coming in as the 1-2 punch for Mkers. I'm quite surprised that we saw bank even chosen here as a map to play tonight. We know that Mkers are a very formidable side on this map, and they've shown us there just exactly why. We're going to cut to a very short break. After that, our desk will be back to break it down and to set us up for what will be our final map here tonight of Clubhouse. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a